Another aspect of the work that we do is what we call mentoring. Now, I remember a Seinfeld episode about mentoring, which was very funny, but anybody who saw that would not be thinking about mentoring quite the same way that we've discovered it. And what we've discovered is this, that we've discovered it in terms of relationship between men and younger men, that there is a role that an older man can play in helping a younger man come into his manhood. And that's the process that we call mentoring. It means being present to the man, it means being interested in the man, it means being available to the man. And it might be you go out fishing, it might be you go bowling, but that's just the activity. The point is that this is an older man giving a younger man attention. He's not replacing the father or the grandfather or any of the significant men in his life. He's an additional presence. And what we've found is that for most young men, this is a really good thing. It's wonderful to have somebody who's not your father or your grandfather, not related to you in that way, to run things by, to do things with, to talk things over with, things that you might want to talk over with your father, but you might want to talk over with somebody else before you talk them over with your father, just to get a little chance to see what you're thinking about it and how you feel about it. And the other thing that we encourage is for young men to become aware of their feelings. The classic view about men is they're not in touch with their feelings, and there's a lot of truth in that. And there's a lot of reasons why that's so. They're taught in many cases from don't worry about that. That doesn't hurt. They're taught not to feel their pain, not to feel their fear. If you're afraid, you're not being a man. So one of the things that we encourage in this work is men to be conscious of and aware of their feelings. And the mentor can help a younger man to focus on aspects of his life, on the feeling components, on his fears, on his hopes, on his anger, on his sadness, and on his joy. All of those things, which it's fairly easy for men in this culture to pass by, to ignore, to suppress, to not pay attention to. The idea of a mentor is he's a presence in the man's life who can help and assist him in his development. And it's one of the things that has been a real eye-opening aspect of the work that we do, how an older man can assist a younger man. And of course, the younger man assists the older man as well. So it works both ways. But the idea of a mentor is an older man paying attention to, being present to, being available to a younger man, not to help him learn how to fish, but to help him in coming to grips with issues in his life, insofar as he's interested in doing it. Another aspect of this work that's become very important for men is what we call a group, an I group. I means integration. It's a process that we have where men bring the fruits of their experiences together in their lives. And one of the things that we've learned is that it's really important to have other men on a regular basis, to be in touch with men on a regular basis, and to be in touch with men on a regular basis about the issues that each of us is going through. And that's what happens in an I group. These are groups that meet either weekly or every other week. They have ongoing membership, usually 5, 6, 7 men, all of whom have a common experience of having done the weekend, and then have a commitment to exploring, continuing to explore what they opened up on the weekend. One of the things that we talk about on the weekend, and we also talk about in I group, is the idea of shadow. That is that there are parts of ourselves that we repress, that we deny, that we ignore, and those parts, the shadow can really mess around with our lives. And one of the ways in which shadow can be, we can come to grips with our shadows by being in a group where other men can challenge us on our issues. So I've been in a group since 1990, so almost 20 years. My group meets at this point every other week. It's been absolutely crucial to me in the way that my life has developed. I had 2 sons who both had problems with drugs, and if I hadn't had this group to go to and process my feelings, I would probably have gone crazy, and I did go crazy in certain ways, but I think I was able to handle some of the issues some of the anger and some of the fear in the group, and the benefit of that is that I'm not handling it with him, with my son. I can be a stronger and a clearer presence to him, because I've had the benefit of airing out the feelings that I have, which are confusion, anger, distress, despair, all those things. And certainly I'm better off if I have a place where I can deal with those and then be clean and clear when I deal with my son. So I had the great benefit of having men who were able to support me, challenge me, give me suggestions, but also support me, and just generally be a kind of sounding board and also a support for me as I went through it. That's the idea of this kind of group, that men support each other in the work that